What's going on, DBZ peeps? Rock Lee AC here, doing a deck profile on Red Ginyu. Just real quick, I want to make a shout out to all my new subscribers and people who supported my last video on Blue Frieza. Thank you so much for all your inputs and your comments. Greatly appreciated, and I hope you guys enjoyed a new style of deck, I guess. That's not, too much of the meta, so thank you guys for testing it out, giving me your feedback, and just appreciating the deck. So thank you guys for that. Welcome new subscribers to my channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit that button and like and spread the love for the DBZ community. Just want to make videos so that I could spread more content for people to view. Today I'm going to do a little bit something different. I guess a deck that's been around since set 1, of course, but hasn't really been talked about lately, which is Red Ginyu. It certainly was pretty powerful in set 1, with its ability to level up pretty quick. And I think set 2 got a little bit better, not by that much, but I think it's still pretty good. I didn't really make too many changes from set 1, because I believe set 1 has a lot more stapled cards, I think, that Red is really well known for, and it's really hard to replace. So I just switched around a couple cards here and there that I think would benefit Red Ginyu for Red. So let's just hop right to it, and I'll explain the cards. Well, everybody knows Ginyu, so level 1 searches your deck for an ally, put it in play. Level 2 searches your discard pile for an ally and put it in play. And you can gain X Anger. X is the number of Ginyu Force allies in play, which is very nice to level up with. I mean, getting from level 2 to 3 is pretty easy, just because you're going to be using his power, and by level 2 you should have at least 2 Ginyu allies. So it's very easy to level up with all your cards that gain Anger. Level 3, obviously, being able to utilize your allies, not have them be discarded, and having that modifier of +2 life cards hit your opponent really hard, especially with that 4 power-up rating. It's very strong. And of course, the useless physical Captain Frog doesn't really do anything for physicals, but that's totally fine. Your main goal from here is to MPPV, and also all of your attacks deal +X life cards. X is the number of allies you have in play. I run up to 6 allies, so you could do 6 life card modifier, which is huge. So it's really, really nice for that option. And of course, the red mastery. Every time you use a critical damage effect, you raise your anger. Whenever you advance a personality level, you draw a card and discard a card. And whenever you lower your personality level, you may draw a card. This really shines with cards like Red Stop. Sorry for the mastery being blurry. I don't have the best camera, but oh well, whatever. Work with what I got. So let's start off first with the allies. I play the obvious Ginyu Force. I'm sure you guys had no idea that I was going to run this, so surprise. Overwhelming, overpowering attack right there. Ginyu Force, obviously good for whatever reasons. Jace, Goldo, Birder, very powerful early game. And Raccoon, I love using Raccoon just to get hand advantage. And that's what's really great about Red, is Red really shines with hand advantage and hard-hitting attacks. And you're going to need that hand advantage so that you're able to use Red's hit effects, which I think Red has some of the best hit effects in the game. Very powerful. So of course you play the 4 Ginyu Force, and then obviously Nappa also. My deck doesn't run a lot of setups, so having Nappa out there is extremely good against, especially the meta decks right now, which is Black, Blue, Namekian. They all run really powerful setups. Black Declaration, Namekian Fusions, all their Limit 1 stuff that gets the Dragon Balls. Blue has blockades and all the attacks like the stretch kicks and Kai Blast. So Nappa really puts a stop on a lot of their key attacks, I guess, or key utilities. Also visiting the past. I mean, just being able to stop that is really powerful. Zarbon. Zarbon is one of the few cards that I added from set 2. Works really well with Ginyu because Ginyu wants to burn stages to utilize allies, and you're going to be taking physical damage. That's totally fine, especially level 1, level 2. You're going to want to be able to use your allies early game if you want to use Goldo or Jace or whatever. It's extremely powerful. And after taking damage from physical attack, according to Zarbon, you get to raise a player's anger to level 1. So that's really helpful early game, just getting you off of level 1, level 2 to level 3. But it also shines when you're trying to get from level 4 to MPPV. If your opponent is a very heavy physical build, they're going to think twice about attacking because you could gain anger through Zarbon. And Zarbon really helps you kind of make your opponent think twice about attacking with a physical, I guess. I mean, just because knowing that you're going to be gaining anger off of that and you're already an anger heavy deck, it might think them twice. I mean, you're going to be gaining maybe 2, 3, 4 anger out of Zarbon before they end up critical damaging you or killing him off. So it's very powerful. Setups, I ran 2 Destiny. It was really hard to decide if I wanted to run 3 Red Destiny or if I wanted to run stuff like Red Blaze. And although Red Blaze is good for its own combo thing and rejuvenating, with this deck you're going to want to go into combat pretty much every single time. Just because, again, you don't run a lot of setups, you run a lot of attacks, you're going to want to burn them out or raise your anger. So I'm going to need a way to protect myself, and Red doesn't have the best endurance, the best stops. So having for the remainder of the combat my opponent's attacks deal -2 stages and -2 life cards, it kind of forces them to it kind of protects me from not being critical damaged in a way. With a lot of the life card damage being at 4 to 5 to 6, I could dodge Destructo Disc, I could dodge Gallic Gun, I could dodge a lot of those basic attacks, Blue Hand Blast, a lot of cards that does staple 5 life cards. So I could protect my allies in a way and not have to worry about it. So I picked Red Destiny over Red Blaze simply because of going to the combat issue. And then visiting the past, I mean, who doesn't like having 5 cards in your hand? Events, 3 stare downs. As a Ginyu deck, heavy build, very aggressive. You're going to want to get rid of cards from opponent's hand that will definitely destroy you or prevent you from being really aggressive. I don't run spears in here. I'm too broke. Totally fine. Stare down's a good alternative just because you could get rid of cards that you cannot block. Black Foreshadowing, Orange Destruction, Orange Launcher, Blue Betrayals. Just get rid of everything that your opponent has that's troublesome. If they have more attacks than you, get rid of their attacks. Just use it to your advantage. Stare down, I think, is very good in any deck as of 2 of. Events continuing, 3 Red City Destruction, another one of the cards that are from set 2. I think this card is very powerful. Not OP or anything like that. It's just powerful in red, just because you use a critical damage effect, trigger your mastery, and then just being able to utilize maybe just killing off an ally early game or stealing a Dragon Ball. It's good. It's very powerful. And then your anger cannot be lowered by a critical damage effect this turn. Very powerful too as well. Especially if you don't have any allies and your opponent does a critical on you. Won't affect it. Totally fine. Won't affect you from leveling up. And until the start of your next turn, your effects that require you to lower your anger are reduced by 1. I.e. Heating Beams and Red Heel Kick that require you to lower your anger to get extra effects. It won't hurt you up as much. So it's a decent card. I use it just because it gets instant, immediate critical damage effect. Trigger Mastery, gain an anger. I ran 2 red stops. Again, red doesn't have a lot of good endurance or blocks. I needed just more defense, just from playtesting. And I just wanted a card that's a little bit more versatile. So red stop is an Omni block that from set 2 was added. And although I don't get the effect of the second effect, which is lowering your anger to search for your a drill. I just like it for the sheer fact that it's an Omni block and it's an event. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's just there for the Omni block. I hate when my cards are like foil and non-foil, especially from set 2, being it's such like a blinged out card. It just looks really weird next to the non-foil. Hint, maybe I might want a foil version of that. To all the traders out there. And then Times of the Warriors tool. No need to explain. Let's go with the physical attacks first. I ran the obvious 3 short shoulder grabs. I mean, this is in any type of red deck, no matter what you have. Critical damage effect. Well, you raise your anger level 1 for the remainder of combat. All your other attacks are considered critical damage. I mean, that's just, can't get any better than that. You combo that with red double strike, you're pretty much going to be raising 5 in 1 turn. It's insane. Red double strike, raising a 1. This attack stays play to be used for a second time. It's just way too powerful. Third type of physical, red heel kick. Combo card, I mean, raise your anger 1, lower your anger 2. Choose a styled card from your discard pile, except red heel kick, place it in your hand. Get back, all your key cards. Get back double strike, get back shoulder grab. Get back cards like red left bolt if it was, discarded somehow. Red energy blast, so you could banish allies. I mean, it's just such a good card to be, kind of do some shenanigans with. Kind of like a blue positioning drill where you could put a style card back to the top, but it's going back to your hand, so you could use it right away. It's a very good card nonetheless. And again, if you use it right after Red City Destruction, it lowers pretty much the cost of it and stuff for anger. Sorry, I'm doing this deck profile at like 2 in the morning, and for some reason I think that's like the optimal time to do stuff, so whatever, it's fine. I ran 2 red right cross. This card is really good in Ginyu because this costs 4 stages and it's a hefty cost, but you're gonna want to burn your stages so that you could utilize your allies. So very good with Ginyu, level 1, level 2, attack table plus 4 stages. It's a good stage damage modifier when you have like Birder and Goldo. But you raise your anger 2 levels. Nice and simple. I didn't want to run 3 because I didn't want to draw this into like turn 3 and turn 4, where I'm, those 4 stages are really kind of hurting you more. And when you have, other attacks like, if you're on level 3, you're going to want to be able to use his power because those do plus 2 life card damage. So you're going to need to use better energy attacks. I didn't want to run 3. I just think 3 is too much. Having the ability to use 2 early game is totally fine. 2 devastating blow. Couldn't find a room for a third one. If I could, I probably would. Raise your anger 1, lower your opponent's anger 2, and then choose 3 cards from opponent's discard pile and manage them. This card is no secret to the scene. I mean, this really ruins a lot of recycling, Namekian, black, blue. Really hard for them to kind of come back if you're able to banish their key cards. I just ran this. I mean, I run stuff like blue, red left bolt, which also banishes, so I guess it kind of makes up for it. And then the last physical combat attack is red lightning slash. The reason why I run this is because of Ginyu, mainly. It's a hit effect. So again, it's tricky, but if you're able to gain hand advantage, again, you're more than likely to be able to use your hit effect. You may lower your anger 2. You may lower your anger 2 levels, destroy all of your opponent's allies or all of his drills. Kills orange Ginyu. Kills orange Ginyu. If you play this mid game, they have like 4 or 5 allies out. You drop this and it hits, kill it all. Or if you're going against like a orange Gohan, kill their Piccolo, Bulma, and Chi-Chi, and whatnot. Or if you're going against a heavy drill deck, there's a new style of red from set 2 that really utilizes drills. And combine that with Raditz and orange, orange Goku or orange Ginyu. I really hate this card. I only ran one because it's not really used in my meta and in my locals. If your locals play heavy Ginyu, heavy Raditz, I recommend 2 to 3. Just because, I mean, the hit effect could really hurt your opponent. But there's other cards in here that kind of deal with allies and whatnot, so it's not too much of a problem. Physical blocks. Red blocking hand. Real nice, simple block of physical. Raise your anger 2 levels, gain 2 stages. I mean, that's awesome. Really good for, like, level 3, so you could use your energies. And the last 3 physical blocks. 3 red duck. I like red duck a lot just because it has 2 endurance. Any endurance in red helps. And then you get to rejuvenate. X is your current anger level. You could toy around with this, gain your anger first, and then use this, later when you have like 3 or 4 anger, so you could maximize its usage. Against a blue deck, have your anger at 5. Being able to rejuvenate 5, because of your anger level, is huge. Use it to your advantage when you're going against blue. But it's a good card, a very versatile card because of endurance and being able to rejuvenate. Combining it with cards like Red Left Bolt to rejuvenate is also very powerful. Onto my NG attacks. Red Left Bolt, one of my favorite attacks, I guess, throughout the game. Costs 3 stages, so it's very good to use early on to burn out your Ginyus, so you could use your allies. It's 5 life cards, really nice, much better with modifiers. Damage from this attack is banished. Draw the bottom card of your life deck. This card is so good in so many ways. If you're stage locking your opponent, which I did to this one game against the Saiyan Vegeta, had him at 0, had my Birder out, blocked with Goldo. Goldo gives you +2 stages, +2 life cards, damage, and then with Birder it gives you +2 stages, and then combined with this, I mean, you're hitting it with 9 plus right off the bat. I mean, this is huge damage being applied there, and it's all banished. I mean, you get rid of key cards, key cards that they can't cycle out. It's really good against like things like Piccolo's weighted clothing, where they won't be able to use it anymore. Just pretty much everything. I mean, it's really good stop. It's a really good anti-meta card against all the black, blues, and Namekian out there. Another really good awesome card is 3 red Static Shock. 2 stages, 5 life cards. Your opponent cannot use endurance on your style attacks this combat, which includes this one. So if you're able to crit off of this one, use a crit effect, gain an anger, and then if it hits, you get to raise your anger 2 levels. So this is really good. This is a good card to use in the last action. Again, hand advantage is critical because your hit effects are huge. Trunks is that red lightning slash and red static shock are probably one of the best ones, just because this could get you 3 anger with those life cards being banished, with modifiers, which is huge, like level 3 Goku with Goldo and Birder. Huge. I mean, killer card. And then if you have cards that draw, I mean, level, with Raccoon, Red Left Bolt, Heating Beams, I mean, being able to draw that extra card, it's stupid. So it's really important to be able to use that hit effect. 3 red Energy Blast, 2 stages, 4 life cards, raise your anger 1, nice and simple. Banish a drill or ally. Really good against Ginyu. Again, Ginyu's very powerful out there. There's still many forms of Ginyu. Orange, blue, black. I'll use allies. So, I mean, banishing a drill or banishing an ally, much more effective than discarding it, using the critical damage effects and discarding allies. So you're going to want to be able to banish, especially in blue. I mean, they're able to get back their, You can use easily with all the blue cards, Lunar Blast and Blue Ready Battleness or whatever. All these names kind of confuse me, but it's all good. That's what happens when you're a new DBZ player. 3 red heating beams. Some people run it, some people don't. I like it simply for the fact that I could draw a card. Hand advantage. Lower your anger 1, draw a card. Draw into another card that's really effective. And it also has 1 endurance. The 1 endurance, believe it or not, really helps you from being crit. There's so many times where I'm able to, they're doing, the standard 4 life cards of damage or 5 life cards of damage, and then this happens to pop in, 5. You got a small percentage of chance that you're gonna hit this card for endurance, and it's really helpful. It really is a way to protect your allies from being discarded, or from them lowering your anger. And then last 3, energy attacks, overpowering attack. Don't have to explain this. I mean, this card is obvious for an ally deck, especially if you're running 6 allies. That's what makes Ginyu so consistent, is this card in comparison to his level 1 and level 2. It's just stupid good. And then I also ran 3 red energy defensive stance. Again, another basic energy block. Raise your anger 1 and 2 endurance. Again, 2 endurance. Very powerful. And then the last 3 is red escape. This card is so good. I think in any type of red deck, just because jumping levels and being able to use that other personalities level is huge. Jumping from level 1 Captain Ginyu to level 2 and getting back a ally from your discard pile if you take a damage, I mean, it's crazy. Even when you jump a personality level, you're triggering off your mastery. Draw a card and discard a card. You could discard a dead card, discard an ally, jump to level 2, use level 2 power to get the ally back, put it in play, bam. It's huge. Jumping from level 2 to level 3 is even better just because you're able to utilize those allies. It's huge. Again, I'm going to keep repeating that just because it's really effective. Not that effective from level 3 to level 4, but I mean, it still gets that extra mastery effect just to cycle out through your deck. And at the end of the turn, when you drop down a personality level, you could draw a card. And the best part is that it doesn't affect your anger. I mean, you're going to be able to still use cards to anger. You could go from level 1 to level 3 if you want, just by using that. It's crazy. Use red escape even if you're taking physical beat damage. I mean, you just jump a level, gain those stages. I mean, it's very good to have. So yeah, that's my deck. Hope you guys liked it. There's a couple cards again that I didn't really use, which I said was like Red Blaze. I didn't use Red Observation either, just because it would hurt me more than it would hurt my opponent in a way. Just because I utilize my allies. Granted that the new CRD made this card a lot better, just because, I mean, if you can't pay those 5 power stages, you don't have to. And it's an optional effect, so blowing up a field, I think, though, is not worth it in this deck. Especially Ginyu, where, you have a lot of allies, so it's good, but maybe not for this deck. I also didn't use Enrage Blast. I mean, if you're going for a heavy MPPV deck, which red does do, go for it. I just couldn't find room, and I just, wanted to play other cards, but having 3 maybe red Enrage Blast or Enrage Blast in place of red Heating Beams, that's probably what I would do. I just like the Heating Beams just because of the endurance, and then also the extra hand advantage for that. Red Blazing Aura, which is another card that I could have used in place of maybe Red Destiny, just because it raises your anger 1, but it also does -3 stages, -3 life card damage from your opponent, so you're most likely gonna get less of a heavy blow. But I guess I just chose that additional 2 anger from Red Destiny, so I mean, it's totally your preference. I mean, I'd probably add Red Blazing Aura, or just to play test it. And then there's other cards from set 2 that I didn't really use just because I don't think it really worked well with Ginyu. These are the 2 blocks that are from the new set, which are really good actually. But it just, I mean, the basic, the immediate effect is, you know, stop an energy attack, stop a physical, and then the parentheses are basically when it's discarded. Ginyu doesn't really have cards, or his personality doesn't really discard cards, so can't really help that much unless you're playing like a black deck, which if they use their mastery, sure, but it really is really helpful with a Frieza deck, just because you're going to be discarding cards from your hand. Red Frieza, his level 2 and level 4 personality, discard a card, copy you know, the last attack that your opponent used, and using all these, you know, benefits from discarding a card is great. So that's really good. Also Krillin level 1, SDCC promo, or even his level 1 just from discarding a card, critical damage effect, and using those. I mean, those are good too. I think those are probably the two personalities I would think would benefit. But Red Frieza, sure, it's really helpful for like an aggressive Red Frieza build. Raditz maybe, but just these cards are better for other decks, not for Ginyu. So yeah, that's my deck, guys. That's kind of my version of it. You know, use whatever you guys want, playtest, see how you guys like certain cards, but I just wanted to do a deck that's not really focused on, just because it's probably the weakest amongst all the Ginyus, just because, I mean, orange and blue definitely outshines red, and then black has so much defense and so many ways to win, you know, Dragon Ball Victory, just defense, survival, I mean, it's huge. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about the deck. Let me know what you guys think I should play, rather than, you know, maybe certain cards, certain choices that I have, like Red Heating Beams, which could be cut, you know, or Red Stop, which could be cut for other cards. I think for the most part, I think the cards that I chose really synergizes with Ginyu, and just that's considering testing out certain cards from the set too. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want for the next video. If you guys want more deck profiles, I certainly will do that. Actually, building decks is probably one of my favorite things to do. I did a lot on Naruto, and I love building decks. I like building new decks and seeing what things I could come up with. If you guys want matches, let me know. I'm not the best player, but I will get some matches up, and possibly a trade binder. But yeah, in the meantime, rate, comment, subscribe, share my video, give me some likes, show me some love. I'll do the same. Subscribe to me, I subscribe to you, help you out. And if you have any questions, leave some in the comment box. And again, hope you guys enjoyed it, and have an awesome day, guys. Peace out, DBZ fans. Later.